The ceiling fan in apartment 417 was spinning even though there was no electricity. Its slow, uneven creak echoed through the empty flat as dust lifted from the floor like breath. The front door stood half open. No lights were on. No movement could be heard. Yet the air inside felt crowded, as if someone was standing just out of sight, watching. This place was supposed to be empty. The missing person case connected to this apartment had already been closed. Inspector Arjun Mehra stood in the doorway, frozen, aware that he had returned somewhere he should not have. The building's power had been cut for weeks, sealed by order after the investigation ended. Still, the fan moved. Still, the apartment felt warm, not stale like an abandoned room, but lived in, as if it had been waiting. Every step Arjun took inside felt delayed, like the floor accepted his weight reluctantly. The smell was faint but unmistakable. Old clothes, skin, and something damp hidden beneath paint. He had been here before during the official search, yet nothing then had felt like this. Back then, the apartment had felt empty. Now it felt full. The case file replayed in his mind without effort. Rohan Malik, age 26, freelance video editor, lived alone, quiet, no enemies. No that's. One morning, he simply stopped answering calls. His phone was found on his bed, shoes neatly placed near the door. No signs of struggle. 3 days later, a body was found near the railway tracks. Identification rushed. Paperwork signed. Case closed. Arjun had signed it himself. The fan creaked again, louder this time, and then slowed as if listening. Arjun noticed faint marks on the carpet, thin lines pressed deep, not random. They led away from the door and toward the bedroom. They did not point outward, as if someone had left. They pointed inward, as if something had been dragged back repeatedly. The bedroom door was closed. During the investigation, it had been open. Arjun paused before touching it. The handle felt colder than the air around it. When he opened the door, the room appeared unchanged at first glance. The bed was made. The desk was clean. The window was shut. But the wall above the headboard looked wrong. The paint there had darkened unevenly, spreading in soft, swollen shapes that looked almost organic. A low sound passed through the room. Not a voice, not wind. A dull, rhythmic thud. It came from inside the wall. Arjun stepped closer, counting his breaths without realizing it. The sound repeated every few seconds, slow and irregular, like weight shifting in a confined space. The wall seemed thicker than it should have been, as if something had been added behind it. Rohan's habits returned to Arjun's memory. Late nights, no visitors, neighbors reporting movement at odd hours, furniture sounds after midnight. Arjun had dismissed it all. People who lived alone often created noise just to remind themselves they existed. The thud came again, stronger. Arjun placed his palm against the wall. It was warm. A detail from the autopsy surfaced suddenly, sharp and unwelcome. The body near the tracks had been missing 2 fingers on the left hand. The report had mentioned it casually, blaming animals' time damage. Rohan's records clearly showed all 10 fingers intact. The wall pulsed under Arjun's touch. He stepped back, his heartbeat now louder than the fan. The apartment seemed smaller, the air heavier, pressing against his chest. The fan in the living room began to spin faster, though no breeze followed it. The sound filled the apartment, covering the silence too perfectly. A faint shape appeared beneath the paint, the outline of fingers pressing outward, stretching the surface thin. All 10 were there. Arjun understood then. Rohan had not vanished. He had been absorbed. The apartment was not a place to live. It was a place to be kept. It sealed people into itself, slowly, quietly, smoothing over the evidence until walls looked whole again. That was why the apartment always appeared empty. That was why the case had been easy to close. The wall split with a soft, wet crack, not violent but deliberate. Darkness opened behind it, deeper than the room could physically hold. A shape shifted inside, thin and wrong, stretched by time and pressure. It carried the suggestion of a human form without truly being one anymore. The front door rattled gently, not as if something wanted to get in, but as if the apartment itself did not want Arjun to leave. The fan slowed. Arjun backed away, step by step, his body already reacting before his mind fully accepted the truth. The bedroom wall began to smooth itself, the cracked ceiling, the shape retreating, as if the apartment had shown enough. By morning, the building caretaker unlocked apartment 417 for routine inspection. Nothing inside appeared unusual. The bedroom wall was clean. The carpet showed no marks. The apartment felt empty, officially unoccupied. Another file was quietly updated, another disappearance explained away by paperwork and timing. As the caretaker stepped out and locked the door, the power in the building suddenly went out. Ceiling fans across the corridor slowed and stopped one by one, except in apartment 417. Inside, the ceiling fan was spinning even though there was no electricity. Its slow, uneven creak echoed through the empty flat as dust lifted from the floor like breath. The front doors stood half open, and the air inside felt crowded, as if someone was standing just out of sight, watching. The missing person case connected to this apartment had already been closed.